In the quiet village of Purrington, there lived a peculiar family of cats who behaved just like humans. They wore little tailored clothes, spoke in meows that sounded like words, and carried themselves with an air of sophistication. The youngest member of the family, Oliver, was a tiny, mischievous kitten with a knack for getting into trouble. One sunny afternoon, Oliver was left alone at home while his family went to the market. Wearing his favorite red dungarees and a tiny chef's hat, Oliver decided it was time to prove he was a grown-up cat and prepare dinner for the family. The kitchen was spotless when Oliver began. He climbed onto a stool and opened a cookbook twice his size. "Ah, tuna pie!" he exclaimed, his green eyes sparkling. "That'll impress everyone." He rummaged through the cupboards, tossing flour, butter, and tins of tuna onto the counter. He measured the flour by eye, most of it landing on the floor, and accidentally knocked over a bottle of milk. The creamy liquid formed a slippery puddle that spread across the tiles. As Oliver stirred the mixture in a large bowl, he grew bored and decided to sample the dough. He took a huge lick, scrunched his nose, and declared, "It needs sugar." But instead of sugar, he grabbed the salt shaker, pouring it liberally into the bowl. Next, Oliver tried to roll out the dough. He stood on his hind legs, leaning all his weight onto the rolling pin, but it slipped from his paws, sending flour clouds into the air. The kitten ended up sneezing uncontrollably, his whiskers coated in white powder. Things only got worse when Oliver decided to preheat the oven. Not knowing how to operate it, he twisted every knob until the entire kitchen began to smell of burnt toast. Panicking, he climbed onto the counter to inspect the oven, accidentally knocking over a jar of marmalade. The sticky substance dripped onto his fur, turning him into a gooey, orange mess. When the family returned, they opened the door to a scene of absolute chaos. The kitchen was unrecognizable. Flour covered every surface, broken eggs oozed from the counter, and the air was thick with the smell of scorched tuna. In the middle of it all sat Oliver, holding a half-burnt pie with a proud grin. "Ta-da!" he announced, presenting his masterpiece. The family burst into laughter, their annoyance quickly melting away. "Oh, Oliver," his mother said, picking him up and wiping his sticky fur. "You're a handful, but we wouldn't have you any other way." From that day forward, Oliver was only allowed in the kitchen under strict supervision. But every now and then, he would sneak in, just to see if he could whip up another culinary disaster.